where it certainly is a short period for Acting President Goodluck Jonathan to deliver for the country, and that being pinned down as one of the major reasons for the reshuffle of the cabinet in the first place, where we've got elections scheduled for 2011. Maurice Iwu, chairman of the Independent National Election Commission, joins us now from Abuja to take us through the next election process for 2011, which has already been mired in controversy. Thanks so much, Maurice, for joining us this afternoon. Well, we've seen the INEC yesterday release two timetables for the presidential poll: January the 22nd, if the 1999 Constitution and the 2006 Electoral Act are amended, or April the 23rd if they are not. At this stage of the game, which is looking like the most likely target?
We are actually prepared for both, but we are interested more in getting ready either way. The National Assembly is likely to amend the Constitution, and we are looking at starting in January 2011. And that means that from sometime from May, we expect the parties to start the process of the primaries, culminating in their submitting the names of candidates to us by September, October, and then we'll then be able to have the first set of polls on January the 8th, and followed by the second one a week later, and so on until the presidential one that then will happen by the third week of January 2010. Either way, what we have done is to make sure that we do have the system in place so that we'll be able to conduct the polls either in January 2010 or April 2010. In both cases, we just have barely 1 year to go, and that is why we had a formal kickoff of the two dates.
So that formal kickoff having happened already, and now it's set to be followed by major decisions in terms of how this election process is going to, going to take place. At the same time, being questioned is whether or not the INEC itself has the quorum to make the decisions that are required to hold a successful election next year. There are question marks around the fact that we only have 3 commissioners that are now appointed, and the rest of the commissioners not having been appointed by the president just yet. Do you have the quorum to make legal decisions around next year's election?
Yes, we do. The Constitution does say that for the quorum, actually, for our meetings is supposed to be that we have 4 commissioners and then plus myself. The commission for about 1.5 years now, we've been running 9 people short. But having said that, the same Constitution, Section 159, subsection 4, did say that regardless of the vacancies that may exist in the commission, that we, whatever decision that we took is binding. So it's a situation that was anticipated by the framers of our Constitution, namely that there could be a situation where you will not have a full complement of the membership of the commission, and that whatever decision we take, we still bind. Let's look at it this way. Even if I'm not able to call a full meeting of the commission, as the chairman of the Electoral Commission, I can take decisions that is binding on behalf of the commission. That is essentially the intent of the law.
With all that's going on in the political arena at the moment, what's sentiment like on the ground surrounding the 2011 elections?
The climate is, so far, it is very favorable, but we're also mindful of the fact that we do have some instability in some parts of the country. Just 2 weeks ago, we had some people that were killed in Jos. Just 2 days ago, there was a bomb blast in Warri in the Niger Delta. These are things that impact on the conduct of the polls. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter how well Nigerians are prepared to vote. If the electoral environment is not ideal, you won't get you get less than perfect polls. And that is why we have our eyes and the ears on those situations. And we believe also by bringing out the timetable early enough that it will help to put things in their proper perspective, so that the politicians will get more interested in getting ready for the polls rather than distracting themselves with other seemingly political engagement.
In some news surrounding the running of these elections, we had Senate President David Mark ruling out the use of electronic voting machines in next year's election. Why? And a lot of the question is, shouldn't that be the INEC's call in the first place?
Yes, it should, but because there was a clause in the law that had banned us from using the electronic voting system, that itself is an issue that is contestable. We don't believe that anybody other than us should be able to make regulations that should make us do what we should do. But having said that, we need a lot of time for the preparation for full electronic voting. For a country as diverse as Nigeria, with our poor infrastructure and poor communication in some cases, I think the best thing for us will be to use electronic voting machine. But you need a lot of time to plan that out. You also need time to test it out. We have the capability right now to be able to do it in some isolated cases. What the Senate President David Mark was saying is, in essence, that they have not been able to lift the ban on the law that actually prohibited us from doing that. If we are ready, we can challenge that act in court, because the Constitution did not give us any limitation as to what we do. It's just that we are not ready yet. If we are ready for the full implementation of electronic voting machine, then we'll do that. Our main priority now is to be able to recapture people's confidence in the system, which have been eroded over the years. And we are doing that gradually and in a more systematic
Maurice,
manner. It's not easy.
Just very, very quickly, what's your verdict on government being able to conduct a free and fair election next year?
We are very confident that we'll be able to conduct a free and fair election next year. We just had an election in one of the more turbulent states in Nigeria, in Anambra State, and everybody agreed. In fact, it's almost universal that that was a credible election, that was free and fair. The entire country jubilated at the outcome in the sense that it reflected the will of the Anambra people, and the police did a marvelous job. We have also shifted using our youth. The young people are those that conducted the polls. The government is determined to have a free and fair election, and we had no interference whatsoever. The presidency only gave us support where we needed it. The police did their bit. It's a one united country that went to the polls in Anambra State, and we are confident that we'll be able to repeat the feat again in 2011.